probably one of the hardest stories that I've ever shared, but I want you to really understand the depth of what happened between me and my mom, and not for sympathy, but because maybe something in it is going to connect with you. And I want to walk you through how I went from resentment to compassion, from being the child who walked away to the woman who learned what real healing looks like. And I was the middle child. My sister, who was 2 years older than me, had health issues, so she and my mom were inseparable. And then my little brother came next, and he was the first boy who naturally got all of the attention. So I spent a lot of my childhood feeling like I was an outsider. And we grew up in community housing, and we didn't have much money. So by the time I was 14, I got my first job so that I can buy things for myself. And I also wanted to help remove some of the pressure off my mom. So I started paying for my own phone, my own clothes, all of it. And I still remember it was like my 14th or 15th birthday, and I didn't get a cake or a birthday gift. And my mom said, "Well, you're working now. I thought that if you wanted one, you'd buy it." But my sister's birthday, who was 9 days after mine, got a cake and a gift. And I know it seems small, but those moments pile up, and they made me feel forgotten. Then as we got older, my sister and I fought all the time, and my mom always took her side. And I'd ask, "Why don't you ever ask my perspective?" But she never did. And because they were so close, my sister always went to her and I didn't. So what I started to notice is when a child feels unseen, they start searching for love somewhere else. And I started dating at a very young age, trying to fill that void. Every fight, every dismissal pushed me further away until eventually I started resenting my mom. In my early 20s, I was dating someone that my family initially liked, but over time things started to turn toxic, and my mom gave me an ultimatum. You're either going to stay in this house or you're going to stay with him. And that moment broke me because I couldn't understand how she could love me and then put me in that position, especially when my sister had been treated very differently in any of her relationships. So soon after, I came home to find my things packed up in garbage bags, everything. That was it. And I left, and I told myself I was done. I told myself that she didn't care, and I built my life without her. And for years, I carried resentment, and I struggled with such bad anxiety. I lost my job. I fell into debt. Not even just debt, like my car was going to get repossessed, and my mom would get the bills and collections at her house, and she would try to reach out, but I pushed her further away. And in therapy that I did do, my pain was validated. I was told that my mom and sister were the villains of my story and that I was better off without them. And for a long time, I believed it. Until the day everything started to change was my mom was on her deathbed after taking too many narcotics, and seeing her like that shattered me. My mom's got a rare condition, so she was on painkillers for so many years, and she was encouraged to take these narcotics, and they obviously didn't do her well because when she was on her deathbed, I started grieving her while she was still alive and realized for the first time that I didn't want to lose her. Even after everything, I still loved her. And that's what I tell parents now. Your child is not talking to you because they're not talking to you because they don't love you. They're carrying pain that they don't know how to process. They feel like you don't understand it. And when I tried to talk to my mom, she would justify everything. I did it for you. I was trying my best. I did it because. But I didn't want explanations. I wanted her to simply say, "I see your pain and I'm sorry." And that's what most children want, not to relive the past, but to feel understood. And eventually I realized that to heal, I had to step out of my own story and see hers. And I remember I sat down and I wrote my mom's story. And was one out of 16 siblings. Her father died when she was 3. She grew up poor, neglected, and displaced by war. And when her family came to Canada, they lived in a house that had no heat, surviving on almost nothing. And I thought about her life, and I felt something that I haven't felt in years: compassion. And no wonder why she didn't know how to meet my needs, because she never had anyone meet hers. And to her, she had given me the best childhood that she could, especially in comparison to hers. And that realization changed everything. And I stopped expecting her to change. And I stopped needing her to love me the way that I wanted. And I started accepting her love the way she knew how to give it. And that shift freed me. And it softened my heart towards my sister too. And she remembered more of the pain too. And she carried it differently. And once I saw that, I stopped blaming her. I started seeing everyone's story as their own, and that changed mine. And I speak from this perspective because I've been on both sides. The pain of walking away and the peace of returning with compassion. So my mission now is to help others do the same, not through blame or shame, but through understanding. Because estrangement doesn't have to be the end. Healing starts the moment you stop waiting for someone to change and start seeing them as human. So I want to say thank you for listening to this. Thank you for being here. And if this gives you anything, I hope it's the reminder that love can survive even in the longest silence.